discuss about other lumps, and I have to show you some methods, images, etc. To start with, we'll talk about renal lump, which I feel is a less common given case in exams, given the point that if it is a renal cell cancer, the methods of examination done by MBBS students can lead to unnecessary pain, bleeding, or metastasis. So, examiners usually or centers do not give that. Now, okay. To start with, how to palpate the kidney. Now, this is usually the first question that is asked. Second question is, why did you say that lump is a kidney? Now, I will show you a couple of pictures because this is what I usually do when I am teaching. And just give me a couple of seconds. Now, it is good enough to talk about this picture. Can you see the screens?
Good. Yes, sir.
Hello? Good. So, I hope that it is clear from this picture that the loin, the flank, and the groin are three different areas. So, if you have some patient with a pain that is known to go from loin to groin, I think by this time you understand what is loin to groin type of pain. So, this part is called as loin, and you are required to know about these various parts to be done. Now, what is important to make you understand is how to palpate the kidneys. Remember that to palpate the kidney, an important thing to understand, the kidneys will lie in the area or the angle that I have, the area that I have shaded down here is in this area. This area that you see in front of your screens now is called as the renal angle. Can you see the screen? That means is made by two important structures. One, the lower border of the 12th rib, and what is this muscle, sir? The erector spinae. Now, normally this is a flat angle. Flat money, there is nothing that is there, and it lays very flat with the rest of the surface. If there is a pathology that arises in the kidney and makes it prominent, say for example a tumor, this becomes bulged. So there is a bulge in the area. So this is the important thing to understand about something called as the renal angle, bulge, and what are the important points that you should know before we talk about palpating the kidney. Just 2 minutes and you should know how to palpate the kidney, because examiners will love to ask you this question, particularly when you get a kidney lump. The first things first, if you are palpating the right kidney, please see that your hand is not in a correct direction. Can you see the way I have placed the hand? This is not the axis of the right kidney. So the axis of the left kidney and the axis of the right kidneys are different. So what is important is, in a right kidney palpation, you have to take two hands. The right hand, so please see my right hand, and the left hand is, right is up, left is down. And can you see the way I have kept the hands? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So that means the mistake that students do is that they place the hand horizontally. So if I have that marker pen with me, this is not right technique, sir. Please remember that. I need to place the hands very differently like this. So this is how I palpate the right kidney. And what is important also is how to palpate the left kidney. Now please see that for palpating the left kidney, I take my which hand behind?
Right hand.
Right hand. This is which hand, sir? This is my left hand. If I am standing on the right side, I am taking the left hand behind, and then I am placing the left hand along the axis of the kidney, and this is the way to palpate. Now definitely this is behind. Where is the right hand then? The right hand then is on the anterior abdominal wall, and the right hand talks about palpating the kidney then thereafter. So please remember that the kidney palpation is a two-handed business always. Okay? So the kidney palpation is always a two-handed business, and this is what you are required to remember. The axis of the hand is like this. This is wrong. This is a right technique. Okay? Chalo, all done. We have talked about too much on methods and techniques. Let us now talk about the renal lump per se. Now, when I talk about the renal lumps, how to palpate the kidney is complete. Why did you say the lump is a kidney lump? Why did you say the lump is a kidney lump? Okay. Number one, a kidney lump is retroperitoneal in location. That means which test differentiates a retroperitoneal from an intraperitoneal?
Knee elbow. Knee elbow test.
Knee elbow. Okay. The second test is the kidney moves on respiration. Now, what do you mean by this? It means that when you palpate the kidney on palpation, the kidney is known to move upwards and downwards on respiration. So 1 and 2 done. The shape of the kidney, etc., has nothing to do with palpation. Remember that the only retroperitoneal structure that moves with respiration is kidney. Okay? Complete? Hello? Good?
Yes, sir.
Have you written up till this point?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, right. Now let us talk about the differential diagnosis. One is renal cell cancer or cancer of the kidney. Renal cell carcinoma. What is the story in this? The story in this is that the patient will complain of, or the patient is an elderly patient. Number 2, usually male. Number 3, smoker, are points that go in favor. That doesn't mean that it cannot happen in females is wrong. The patient complains of painless hematuria. The patient complains of painless hematuria. The patient complains of painless hematuria. Okay? Now, sometimes hematuria can be associated with passage of clots, meaning profuse hemorrhage. Okay? Completed?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good. On palpation or on examination, on inspection, this area I told you is called as the flank. The flank may or may not show a bulge. Since this is the reason I did not tell this to you in the kidney palpation. Flank sometimes, if it is a big kidney tumor, then remember, may not show you the flank may not show you the bulge. But if it shows, that means it's a kidney lump. On palpation, you get a retroperitoneal lump that moves with respiration. Now the next important point, something that I purposely kept for this point, the lump is either bimanually palpable, or the lump is ballotable. Now there is a big line between them. Please draw a line between bimanually palpable and ballotable. What do you mean by this term? Either it is one of them. Please tell me when you have completed writing so that we can see a picture.
Yes, sir, done.
Completed now? Now let us see a picture so that you understand what is bimanual palpation and what is ballotability. Now when you talk about this picture, see this picture in front of your screens. Can you see the kidney lump in front of you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
If this is the kidney lump, then can you see that the kidney lump is being seen by the right hand and the left hand? So the lump is felt simultaneously by the right and the left hand. So this is technically thus called as a bimanually palpable swelling. Now which obviously is not equal to a kidney lump always. Why we are going to talk about that? Now see this swelling. Can you see what is being
once?
The lump is felt by two hands. Can you see the picture? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is called as bimanual palpable. This lump is felt by two hands. But what is done is that the lower hand, that means the left hand, what it does is it pushes this is the left hand. What it does is that the left hand is going to push this towards the right hand, which is in this place. And then the right hand again pushes this to come down to this place. So this maneuver is called as ballotability. This maneuver is called as ballotability. If you want to take a snapshot, please do in this time. Completed? If you have a ballotable swelling, what is the requisite that you must have a ballotable swelling? A ballotable swelling has something called as a pedicle. Please tell me when you have completed. Done?
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. So with this now we go on writing again. We resume our writing. So two important pictures to show you. Picture story ends here. So the lump is ballotable and this. So this is all about the surface of the swelling. The surface of the swelling can be smooth, can be irregular. Both can happen. The consistency of the swelling can be firm, can be hard. Both can happen. Please tell me when you have completed writing.
Yes,
Done,
sir.
Done, na? Very good. Okay. The second kind of a renal lump is technically a hydronephrosis. Okay. what is the history that is there? Hydronephrosis can occur in all ages, starting from children, where the cause of hydronephrosis is. Can you tell me what is the cause of hydronephrosis? No, not very happy, sir. That is the cause of bilateral hydronephrosis.
Posterior
You are all telling me causes of bilateral hydronephrosis. Tell me a cause of unilateral hydronephrosis.
ureteric stone.
In children, okay, ureteric stone is a congenital PU junction obstruction. Please refer to your notes in urology. You are not reading your notes. This occurs in an age group of up to 10 years. Beyond 10 years, please think of stone disease. Okay, so this is all about all ages children. In adult, unilateral hydronephrosis, HDN is hydronephrosis, I will think of as ureteric stone. This completes the first part. I can also think of
PU just stands for
pelvic ureteric junction.
Sir, are all these causes of unilateral hydronephrosis?
Yes, definitely. Please see your theory notes. I have given detailed notes on unilateral hydronephrosis, bilateral hydronephrosis. Okay, right.
Sir, excuse me.
Pardon this?
Sir, I just had a question that while palpating the left kidney,
Okay, so please keep your questions for the last. Please let us finish. Then I will have a long question answer session. Don't worry. Please remember your question and please remember to ask me. Okay.
So PU
Right. So,
full contact to go PU.
pelvic ureteric junction. Kindly see your notes in urology, theory notes in urology. We have given notes about what are the causes of unilateral hydronephrosis. Please tell me when you have done. Completed writing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. If you have completed writing, so hydronephrosis, number one is age. If it is a stone disease, the patient presents with typical renal colic or ureteric colic. So the patient is required to present with renal colic or ureteric colic plus dysuria plus rarely hematuria. Less common. I will not say rare. Stone with hematuria is less common. Okay. PU junction obstruction or congenital PUJ obstruction is technically painless. The parents notice a abdominal lump in the child. The parents notice an abdominal lump in the child. Okay, chalo. All done? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please reserve your questions for the last so that we can end quickly. Right. Now, on examination, flanks may or may not be full. Flanks are full or normal, as I've said in the renal lump. Point number 2, kidneys when palpated, the kidney lump, as I've always said, the characteristics 1, 2, 3, it moves with respiration. What is the second point that I told you in a renal lump?
Bimanually palpable or palatable.
It is retroperitoneal, and as you have very rightly said, either it is bimanual palpated or it is palatable. So, in hydronephrosis, the surface again usually is smooth. Consistency is firm. Now, I hope you understand that this is what exactly looks like the same thing as the